Alright. We are alive, it would seem. Hello, hello. Hi. I haven't done this in a while. Let's, try and see if I remember how to do things. So yeah, today I thought I'd, do some environment stuff. Probably just prop modeling, but we'll see. There's not a whole lot left on this map, but I'd show you guys a bit. So this is Iceland. It's the first snow map. It's sort of used it to develop, or still using it to develop. As you can see, things aren't really finished, but I'm using it to develop the snowy icy assets, as well as whatever else is there, like these buildings. So here's your base. There's your gin room with the chutes. Generator over there. Good stuff. Hold on, let me fix a few things and I can get to your questions. Right. A quick first question: do the maps like in the style like original Tribes 1 maps or some more like TAs? So I mean, considering like TA is not really I don't know, it's so hard to compare, right? Just different games, and like speeds and relative distances all change and stuff. But I mean, we have a variety of different map sizes right now. Some are pretty damn big. What the fuck is what gun? Ashra, hello? Yeah, this is a ring launcher. Or are you? Oh, hello. The finger blaster is, yeah, the future of gaming. As you can see, it's pretty amazing. Is it a bit laggy? I think my settings might be a bit bad. I may have messed with them and forgot to do stuff. FPS in the editor is also not great, just because yeah, unbuilt lighting and stuff, and because it's the editor. But let me know if those streams like too laggy, and I'll try to see if I can fix it. Yeah, this gun's pretty amazing. Well, there will be classes like Spy that can go in Viz. I mean, there's only going to be 3 classes light, medium, and heavy, but I know at least bug spray. No sensors. I think we might have a cloak pack. Not sure if not sure exactly how it'll work, but yeah. Anyway, enough skiing around. What I thought I'd do, because it's sort of pretty much the last model I haven't finished it, is this central, whatever this is. Just the lower part. The mana tank itself is kind of done-ish, but yeah. So just the sort of, sort of a hero piece, sort of a prop. I don't know what it is. But yeah. So that's what I thought I'd model today and show you a bit of that workflow. And yeah. So here I've got that in Blender. It's so this is like a block out version of the model. Just sort of to get the general idea, the concept, if you will, and I'll see about getting this to a more final state. I'm gonna keep my blockout version in one layer and work on just gonna do a standard high to low poly workflow. I could do some trickery, but I decided I'm kinda I'm gonna keep it simple here and just do what's like fun. Questions. Will there be custom team colors or at least support for that shit? I can't say for sure. Like I don't really know, but considering that there's a heavy emphasis on sort of the red and blue and the way that the bases are colored and all that, that's not really likely. Yeah, like custom team colors, well, there's like, there's red base and the blue base, and the players are red and blue, and so I'm not really sure how that could work, even if we wanted to do that. More questions. Are you planning on having a dual game mode similar to Mountain Blade? Basically the free for all, only one duels. I know game modes certainly aren't locked in, and again, I'm not the best guy to answer gameplay related questions, considering I'm just arting. But I know there's definitely been talks about arena game modes and stuff. We'll see what the specifics are later, I think. Again, Bug Spray can probably elaborate on that. Player count, I see Bug Spray kind of answered that. Basically we're gonna try to accommodate as wide an audience as we can in pub play, I guess. Hello Seymour Gore. Commenting on my hair, thank you. It's pretty fabulous. I thought you would have noticed in the past streams that I have a shaved thingy side cut. Yes, I look like that on purpose. Siberian Z, bases are indeed color keyed to team colors, as you can see. Blue base is there, and red base over here. And yeah. So I should probably just get going before I ramble too much. Right. So I'm gonna sort of dissect this and plan out what yeah, gonna plan out what like how I'm gonna make all these different pieces. So what techniques I'm gonna use, where I'm gonna add detail, because certainly isn't quite enough yet. But the first part is obviously this. Yeah, just getting all the pieces separated, which, to be fair, they pretty much are already. And this is a very, non-destructively modeled with like if I remove the modifiers on these things, for example, it's an array and a mirror, so all the geometry is actually just this. Will there be neutral basis mid-map that you can own? Which color with color? Oh, which will color key as well. I'm not sure about the color key. We could do something there. I mean, considering it's all just tied to parameters, there's, yeah, it's possible to just tie that to code and code that really simply in Blueprint or something. We've definitely been talking about neutral bases that you can capture midfield. That's sort of a nice. I think a lot of people seem to like that in like T2, from what I've gathered. I'm just gonna mirror this stuff, so I don't have to work on all of it at the same time. And probably shouldn't be on TeamSpeak.
Disconnected.
Yeah, Siberian. That's what I've gathered from a bunch of people. I didn't personally play T1, but yeah, apparently it was fun for a lot of people, and so could definitely be a possibility. Have I been working on any vehicle models yet? Accidental items. Well, unfortunately, I can't say I haven't been working on any, because we're still working. We do have initial concept stuff sort of started, but no, unfortunately I can't show you anything. which is a shame, because there's definitely some cool stuff, and excited to show you guys that whenever we can. So I think before I actually get anything really going, I'll gonna want to think about some detail stuff, because especially this sort of main big block here just isn't really interesting enough as it is. Unfortunately, my blender scale is a bit weird, so the lines, or whatever, the edge lines get aliased really badly. Something that I kind of just have to deal with. I wonder if I want to bevel these. Concepts have been more hovercraft thread tank so far. Well, hovercrafts are, I mean, I'm not gonna say either way, but hovercrafts are easier because you don't really have to animate any wheels, you know. So make of that what you will. I'm not sure if I want to bevel this like that or not. Yeah. Mine's some sort of walker. You'd like an ATST. Yeah, I mean that would be cool. I don't wanna. Well, it's a lot of work there, but because it's essentially like, you know, as complex as something like a character model, really, with unique animations. But yeah, I mean, who doesn't love mechs, right? Mechs are cool. Were you able to meet your internal deadline? Missing last week's stream, Voidspawn. Well, it wasn't really about my deadlines as much as just, well, I mean, I guess my answer is yes, but it wasn't really me. I just couldn't stream in it anyway. It was kind of other people who, yeah. Voidspawn is always on time with his deadlines. Indeed I am, because I work too much. That's what happens. Unfortunately, Jordan can only speculate because he hasn't had the pleasure, the privilege, I should say. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm just basically adding. Actually, I'm kind of doing the thing I said I wouldn't do, because I wanted to figure out what kind of detail I want first. But I was just adding edge loops, holding edges to make the subdivision work. Do you make collision with models or blocking volume BSPs? Well, so with like how levels are built, I can show you. Actually, I can show you the collision visualizer. That tube has per poly collision right now because I couldn't figure out how to make that yet. Anyway, so you know, because things are constructed out of a bunch of different meshes, and each mesh tends to have its own collision. It's kind of a mixture here between like sort of unique geometry, like this entire floor thing, right, and which just has a tiling material, and it's using per poly collision also because it's so simple. Then simpler meshes, or I should say more complex meshes, have very simplified geometry for the collision on their own, and so that does the trick most of the time. And it's hold on, let me find something like this. So this has, as you can see, we just got upon import, we've got Unreal just set to auto-generate the very simplified collision, and that does the trick most of the time, like I said. Then if there's something a bit more complex that I want to get, let's see, I think this one's using, actually that's kind of, it's not good enough really, but I don't know, it could be fine, it's really fine. But yeah, then this is using the auto convex collision. Yeah, like all this collision does block weapons, which really just doesn't matter. So all the collisions set to block all right now. So that means all the projectiles get blocked as well. Might change that, I don't know. I mean, it's a bit of a visually jarring thing, I guess, sometimes if your projectile just sort of explodes. So we'll see. Right now, I mean, you know, pre-alpha and all that, might have to see if we need to do more accurate collisions for projectile collision. It's really just a visual thing right now. Right. Anyway, so this is this collision generated by Unreal's automatic collision, convex collision thing. I can show you. I'll actually increase the quality and get some more accurate stuff. I mean, the only drawback here is basically just time, right? Time and complexity. As you can see, we've got a bunch more polygons, and they improved their this thingy, whatever powers the dark magic that makes this happen. They improved it in like Unreal 4.7, I want to say. Before that it was pretty bad, but now I feel like it really just you know, most of them you just don't notice anything being off, and when you, like, again, when there are sort of more complex areas, and the final version. So I mean, you never have sort of per polygon collision on any art assets really, because there's just a lot more polygons in the sort of visual side than you really need for gameplay, right? Like you really don't need more than this, like something like this. So there's that, and then so that. Then there's also, I think, yeah, to get these doors and these chutes to flow really nicely, so that you don't have anything messing you up there. Essentially there's no collision on this door itself, and then there's just some small, I think I can find the yeah, blocking volumes somewhere like there, right? Yeah, so there's like small blocking volumes kind of everywhere, just to custom do collision here. Yeah, I know what you mean, Race. It's a bit of an issue. Like I said, we'll evaluate and see if it's really necessary. I know actually TA did do something like that ish, like they kinda did. I don't know, I have to see. And there's like sort of the you know, like placing custom blocking volumes everywhere is kind of time consuming, so you don't really want to have to do a whole lot of it. But there's some of it here. Like this entire sort of curved section has just a bunch of collision volumes blocking it. There's that, and then the sort of most custom way of doing collision is with something like what I did for this flag stand, which was actually custom model the collision in Blender and bring it in, just to make sure that I've got it right and good, and that I'd have as much control as I want, basically, because the flag stand's pretty important, right? Probably work in progress, I don't know. Still kind of on the fence about whether or not I wanna... Yeah, I don't know. This whole stop area is a bit tricky to do, but yeah. Actually, did I screw this up? I probably did. Yeah, it looks like I did. Ish. No, I didn't, did I? I don't know. We'll leave it. Back to modeling, because art is more interesting than collision, at least for me. I assume the big green tanks by the generator are mana storage tanks. Yeah, someone's been paying attention. So yeah, this stuff is mana. There's a whole sort of very basic but enough of a narrative to the level that I as an artist can you know, like I can make something that's not just, okay, let's make a generic sci-fi building X. Yeah. So yeah, mana tanks. The sort of narrative here is that there's like frozen mana in the ice, as you can see here, and then they're hauled here and processed in the base, which is why you've got mana tanks, and so that's why like this stuff sort of looks like some sort of well, it looks like a heatsink, but mana magic. Yeah, we've got this whole story thing about mana, and it's just like there's sci-fi and magic sort of fused together, and it's all very mysterious and cool. or not really, but yeah. Anyway, you know, this stuff kind of looks like a heat sink, but, well, whatever, doesn't really make sense, but it looks like it has something to do with heat, right? And so, you know, where you gotta sort of melt and process the, mana from the frozen to the sort of liquid stuff, and so that's what all of these sort of vaguely have something to do with that. You know, they look like, I don't know, well, there's a lot of pipes and green glowy stuff, so yeah, and so yeah, well, here too, and yeah, that's the general idea. And then, you know, I kind of wanted to keep this sort of theme of the orange tubes, so that at least sort of you kind of, as a player, even if you don't really pay attention, you kind of maybe see like, you know, okay, orange tubes here, orange stuff here, it's the same orange color as well, and then a giant orange tube leading from the base to the tower. So that's probably all connected, right? And yes, Mountain Dew and Doritos. I wish I had Doritos. Yeah. Race Piece Day asks, what's the generator power on this one? I assume that's what you asked. So right now, I mean, so the base asset placement and stuff isn't really ready, and there's some issues with figuring out good inventory placements, but that's all sort of, it's gonna be affected by testing. But right now you've got inventories on the top level here, 4 of them, right? And then there's a sensor right here, and a base turret here. Oh, and yeah, invos here at the tower as well, which are sort of, these are a bit problematic. Is the cable just an art reset, or can it be blown up, taken offline, and need repairs? No, it's just an art reset. If you mean the giant orange tube, yeah, it doesn't actually have any gameplay affecting things. The only thing that's gameplay affecting is the generator. I'm trying to think about, well, honestly, I shouldn't have to think about this too much, because I can just sort of wing it. Do you have plans to add things that can be taken offline and need repairing, or just the gen? Well, I mean, all the you know, all base assets are destroyable, right? And so destroyable and repairable, although right now there's no working repair gun, but that's work in progress. And yeah, so all the inventories and base assets can get blown up and repaired. I can kind of try to show you, I guess. Oh. Keep forgetting that they changed the health numbers, but I guess you guys can't really even see that on my screen. Oh, and I screwed up. Excuse me. What's the button? There you go. Heavy. I think someone was asking about deployables. There's some deployables already. Turret sensor inventory. And yeah, doesn't actually matter. Yeah, essentially base radars, turrets, whatever. Pretty much all the things that you're familiar with from T1, T2, that sort of thing. Plus, hopefully some more cool and unique stuff as well. I'm gonna go blow up some stuff in the enemy base. heavy clock. Well, that's just because there's no like, it's not intended to stay that way. Just right now, no one's written the code for the restrictions based on class, right? So right now you can equip the mortar as a light and the sniper as a heavy, but that's not supposed to be that way. So yeah, enemy turret. I think their aim is still pretty bad. And my sensitivity in the editor is awful. But yeah. Wow, that is really tanky. Have I? Wow, that really should know. Okay, nice. If you guys have a good screen, that's an ability. I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, like, yeah, if you could define your question a bit more, that'd help, because I'm not quite sure what you mean. Siberian Zig, that is, like about the skiing routes and ability. I'm also pretty bad at the game, so don't judge the game based on my ability, especially in the editor, which is like pretty laggy and the sensitivity is wrong. Right, I should probably stop messing around. It's kind of way too easy to get lost in that in the editor, just doing like skidding around. Right, okay, yeah. I mean, there's different philosophies on that, I guess, because I mean, certainly not all maps as far as I know, and like I would even actually say that Travis End had way more definitive and restrictive routes than something like Travis 1 from what I've seen, but you know, all I can really say is like we are working pretty hard on like making sure that the maps are, you know, playable and have a good capping and chasing balance, and it does help that, like, so I'm not really the one doing the level design per se, like the layout of the different hills and that. That's Stealth RG, who's been streaming a bunch as well, as I'm sure the regulars know. And so, yeah, he definitely spent a lot of time thinking about, you know, things like a good capper chaser balance and good routes, and but not overpowered routes and things like that. And then we, you know, implement and test and make changes according to feedback and all that good stuff. Yeah, hope that answers your question. I wonder. Maybe I'll just be boring and do something like super simple, like a panel line like this here, which I'm just gonna do by separating this and adding some thickness to it. Like so. Yeah. Having your mic muted isn't helpful. Sorry, I was quiet there. Yeah, back to modeling. I'm just gonna kind of be lazy here because it doesn't really matter. The topology here doesn't really matter that much. It's just the high poly anyway. The sort of, I guess, pro tip for anyone who's newer to modeling is that sort of like clean topology only matters when it matters. And so if the results, like when you're baking, or when you're just doing high polys for baking normal maps, then it's not really that important that everything's super super clean. And end guns are amazing. A lot of students I know are afraid of end guns and triangles, but yeah, they're great. So all that was just to get this. Like as you can see here, the like this bottom, for example, is completely messy because it doesn't really matter. Oh, by the way, I think I'm doing an hour stream today because, well, there's not a whole lot to show. Unless there's a great uproar of people wanting to see me model stuff for another hour, then I can consider it, but yeah. Right, that's way too sharp. Better. Little cut line thing. Minor details, like I said. There's not actually a whole lot of detail I can even want to make in this thing, so it's gonna be fairly simple. Hey, what's up, Buster Boo? So random Blender question, trying to convert super crazy high poly tessellated starships from Star Citizen into lower poly flat where it can be occurs when it needs ships that are manifold and smooth. I failed for the last month or so at it in my free time. How would you do it? Also nice gen. Not really a generator, because that's really the, of course, the main point to take away. So, right, I mean that kind of depends on what exactly our source models are like, I would say, and well, yeah, because I'm not really sure what you're looking at here, or like what you need out of it. I guess that's the main issue, right? I would need to know what it is you want to do with them, to know, and like what kind of result you want to get. There's certainly some things I can think about, but yeah. The heatsink needs colored lights. All future things need blinky lights. Kappa. I can add some lights, definitely. Actually, there's a good point. Another an issue here though is that, well, I could add like a, if I add like a light here and light here, we've got a bit of an issue here, don't we? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, goddamn. Let's see. Where can I add lights? Could do something at the bottom, maybe. Could be cool there. Let's see it in engine, actually. If I had like a light strip that goes all around here, that could be cool. Yeah, I think I'll try that. Oh, that's not good. Right, just gonna be sort of that, but then outset that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like how that works. Except, derp, you aren't gonna notice that. Never mind. Okay, that's a bit weird. There you go. So, little inset there. Maybe take those in a bit, like that, and then just assign a material to that. Just use that as a placeholder. Alright, that doesn't really work. Right, I actually don't even need an inset there. Kind of. How should I do this? Can I assign that to that? But then I need well, that's a bit of an issue as well. I'm just gonna do that like that instead. It's not really perfect, but it doesn't need to be. So this is gonna work is actually I wonder. Really obnoxious smile so generators feel good about themselves. Well, again, it's like this isn't a generator. I know it kind of looks like a generator, which is bad. I hope no one gets confused by that. But yeah, generator always looks the same, which is this thing here, which does have some interesting stuff going on. It's kind of lacking all the flavor animations that I know we had at some point. But yeah. And I should not have this thing submit. No, I know that this thing kind of, yeah, looks a bit too much like a generator even. Hope that doesn't confuse people. But yeah, well. So how this is gonna work is like that. You like the animations? Yeah. Yeah, that is it's kind of the point. Yeah, it's kind of funny actually. How that whole thing even happened. We had this animator guy join in, and he sort of just went ahead and did that, and everyone loved it. This was like back in 2014. And yeah, really fits the style nicely. It's a shame that right now, because we're sort of really goal oriented and don't have a lot of time to do fun stuff, means we haven't had the time to like implement a lot of those like cool and cutesy flavor animations and do like you know, a lot of the sort of polished stuff with animations that we'd want to do. But you know, alpha and all that, we'll get to that when we have more time and yeah, have time in the dev cycle to do cooler things than just, you know, rush around madly and try to fix things. That's pretty much how it is right now. Yeah. Alright, I'm actually completely yeah, we've only got 5 minutes left if I do an hour. The question is, I guess, would you guys like to see me sort of try to finish this thing all the way up to an in-game asset, or if I should just quit now, I guess. Quit while I'm ahead. Let me know what you think. Sorry though, there's a question, Siberian Z. So that heatsink thing you're working on, is it a destroyable take online offline thing or just an art asset? It's just an art asset, unfortunately. Do an hour and a half, he says. Compromises, I like it. Let's see, I probably can actually. Even, I mean, I always underestimate how much, like, or doing a stream really slows you down. Kind of get sidetracked all the time and stuff. So I probably actually can't finish this even if I do like a full 2 hours, but yeah, because there's all the low poly and baking normal maps and texturing and a million other things. It's actually more like a 2 or 3 hours from this point on, even if I wasn't streaming. So never mind that. But yeah, sure, we'll do another additional half an hour. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys enjoy watching, then I'll keep doing this. So there's a bit of wonder. I know I actually won't even want these and high poly, because there's no need to bake normal maps for those since they're just pipes. Is this game slated to have a single player campaign at all, or is it just multiplayer only? Multiplayer only is the plan right now. Oh yeah, all Travis games did have single player campaigns, didn't they? But yeah. Especially for a dev team like us, it doesn't really make sense to even try to go for something like that, unfortunately. So I'm gonna decide if I should have these sort of these wider bits if I want them to be part of this same thing or separated. I should have them separated. Kind of different material. So we'll just do that. Actually, considering that we're mirroring things already, might as well go for it and mirror some more. So I'll delete those and Z mirror. Oh, that doesn't really work, does it? There we go. And so as you can see, always is mirroring. Pro tips over here. Mirroring helps you save a lot of time. Alright, that doesn't really work, does it? Single player story, short tutorial. Yeah, I think tutorials are essential. Tribes games are really hard to learn, so I'm pretty sure almost everyone's on board with trying to do a good tutorial. Because I feel like a lot of the classic Tribes titles, and even Tribes Send, really didn't do a good job at that. Oh yeah, the deep Tribes lore that no one knows about. It's actually there's a lot of these repeating and really simple elements that don't really even need unique normal maps, which is why it's a bit weird for me even to do that. Actually, I'm just going to delete those because they don't actually need any unique stuff, unique textures. Honestly, come to think of it, this platform thing doesn't really need that either. So this is the point where I'm getting sort of, I'm like really starting to think about what I want and what I don't really need in my high poly bake, like what needs unique textures and what really even doesn't. And so I'm just removing all the parts that I kind of know don't make sense to have, because it's like simple stuff and repeating, and I can do some hackery. Actually, I'll show that because it's kind of cool. So for people who don't, I mean most people here don't know all the things. So in video games generally we use normal maps or other things. The normal map is a texture that edits the surface normals of the object. As you can see, you've probably seen the purplish textures somewhere before, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, kind of hard to explain. The surface normal of an object is like the the direction that the surface is pointing, right? And then you can use a texture to define, like, you know, even if you've got a flat surface, you could use a texture that's like a, you know, a little detail, like a hole or like a little indentation or detail or something, right? And then they'll like make it appear. It's kind of hard to describe. Anyway, so you can use that, and well, the problem with that is, of course, that then you're using a lot of unique textures if you use baked normal maps for everything. Like the main thing, like because our art style doesn't really even have that much detail, what we really use the baked normal maps a lot for is stuff like getting nice and you know, smooth edges, as opposed to, you know, the really obviously 3D low poly look of having a super, yeah. But the other thing I can do, this actually, who was it, Swiss Milk, was, you were doing Blender stuff as well, right? And so, well, we can do some sort of hacky things that don't require us to use. If we just want the like a bit of, you know, nicer edges, not as low poly. Yes, exactly, Mr. Bandler. And so, if we just want like nicer corners, then what we can do is add some bevels. So this is getting to the very technical side of things, right? Which is that like this object right now has hard edges, right? All these edges are hard. If I set it to be completely smooth, then it would look like this, which is that then all the normals are getting averaged across. This is smooth, and the way you achieve hard edges is essentially what it's doing is the normals are getting split here, and I can actually show you the vertex normals. This is way too complicated to be explaining on a sort of consumer-oriented stream, but hey, fuck it, let's go. So let's show normals. So vertex normals, because all of these edges have split normals or hard edges, it means there are 3 different directions. Each of these vertices have their normals pointing. Well, that means that essentially each of these vertices is 3 vertices. And so when you're talking about like poly counts and vertex counts in Engine, this is, you know, like, even though it's essentially like, you know, it's one vertex, right? But because you've got split normals, that makes it 3 vertices. And so what we can do that, well, we can get better looking results with the exact same vertex count by doing a bevel. So I'm just doing a bevel non-destructively again. So adding a bevel, like a 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter bevel. I'm setting the auto smooth to 180. Then I'll duplicate this, move it to another layer. What's happening? Am I stupid? I'm stupid. Okay. So I'm gonna duplicate that, remove that bevel modifier that I just used. Do this again. Sorry, I'm ignoring questions right now because I want to get this this quick tutorial or explanation, whatever, done. Yeah, I'll name this so I know what I'm looking for. This is actually a pretty new feature in Blender, vertex normals editing. So I'm gonna use a data transfer modifier to get these vertex normals onto this thing, which because I'm doing a non-destructive bevel, you can't see in the wireframe. Actually, maybe I can. No, I can't. Never mind. Yeah, so there's a bevel modifier. Anyway, so I'm gonna use the other version of this with projected face interpolated, and the result is this. So this is actually, as you can see, that we've got some sort of nicer and smoother. It's not perfect, right? Like you can still kind of see it, but yeah. So we're getting sort of nicer edges, and this is actually the exact same poly count as this sharp-looking thing. So there. That's probably a really bad explanation, but yeah, I've been doing more and more custom normals editing, which is kind of more like this has emerged more in recent years of doing stuff like this. Things like Star Citizen, I know, did this a lot. Alien Isolation as well. Anyway, questions now. Right. Is all modeling for Midair done in Blender? No. I am the only one. I mean, I'm kind of the only full-time artist, but yeah, other people use other programs. We're so indie and whatever that we just kind of have to let everyone use whatever they have. So there's people who use 3ds Max and some people use Maya. And kind of everyone uses ZBrush because ZBrush is amazing. But yeah, I use Blender and I kind of love it. It's great. But like, yeah. So let's see. So what that ends up being is that a lot of the models you see in game are made in Blender just because I'm the guy making them, but that's not because of like a studio decision. It's just because I happen to be the guy making a lot of the models. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna. So. I've got 20 more minutes. It's interesting. Yeah, Blender is pretty damn good. I don't know, it's kind of, people who use Blender are kind of, you know, laughed at and whatnot, because it's not considered, people don't really consider it a serious industry tool. It's definitely not as common. Like, really that's, at least I feel that's the main issue with it, is that, like, sort of, whenever you're using something that isn't industry standard, you just run into issues, which is unfortunate. But yeah, like when you're talking about collaboration between people and stuff like that, right? Like, there's definitely still some kinks with Blender's FBX handling, for example, and a bunch of other things, but generally it's a very powerful tool, and like all modeling programs, how you really get the most power out of anything is by customizing and getting, like, using add-ons and plugins and scripts and stuff, and that's really what, like, I know that at least for me that's what sort of like, Blender, like, by default is okay, definitely was for me when I started like learning 3D, but sort of more professionally, the add-ons are what does it, like what really makes or breaks anything. And why is this not mirrored? It really should be mirrored. Like, for example, this thing right now that I'm doing, I'm hitting Ctrl-Alt-X to use my auto mirror script, which deletes 1/2 and mirrors it over, and stuff like that. So yeah, lots of things like that. I need to think about. Well. Yeah, I really am not even gonna have enough time to like make a low poly and bake textures and all that, which is unfortunate. I know I've kind of I don't know, I think I showed some stuff like that before, although really like, you know, creating a low poly in-game model and like doing all the technical stuff to make it, to bake it and all that is like really not that interesting. You're essentially just making another version of the same model, and that doesn't look as good, and then you make it look as good with textures. But yeah, not really that all that impressive or interesting for other people. Have I done other professional 3D work? Ish. Although not really. I have to admit, I'm fairly new at this. Only been doing 3D for a few years. I was only into like 2D art before that. I have been doing digital art, like painting and all that, for like 10 years. But yeah, I'm pretty new at modeling. But you can learn a lot of things when you spend essentially all your time learning, which is what I've done for a while. Hey, are you the Maven from T2? Is that directed towards me, or was there a Maven? Oh, there was a Maven in the chat. I assume that's directed at him then, and not me. Maybe this is a good spot to add a light. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Right there. I wonder. Nah, that's not gonna work. Need to figure out what shape of a light I want to make. Very hard artist problems, struggles. I think I'm gonna try something. Hey Red Mite, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we'll definitely try to, keep doing streams, and thanks for appreciating or whatever. I think I am gonna do, at least try a circle. Circles can be cool. Another thing that some people are really afraid of doing. Gonna use a boolean. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. I don't need all these actually. Probably don't even need all these. Is that enough? It's probably not enough. Let's do 10. Okay, that doesn't work. Oh yeah, it's probably really gonna be. Oh, okay, that worked. Strange. Can I evaluate it with just that? Is a circular light gonna be too weird here? I think it'll be cool. I'm gonna have to apply my modifiers though. But that's fine. Now I can remove that. What was I gonna do? I was gonna do something. Oh yeah, that. Oh, okay. It's not good. Okay, should not have done that. Let's go back. Yeah, this needs more. Actually, I'm just gonna. Right, we've got 10 more minutes. It's really a shame that shame that I can't just stream everything so I can show you guys everything, but yeah, that would kind of slow me down too much, and we don't want that now, do we? Applying the boolean. Okay, that screwed it up. Amazing. There we go. So yeah, booleans are not something to really be afraid of. They don't bite. You just need to know what you're doing and use them when they're appropriate. So yeah, I think that'll probably work. Maybe. Oh, well, that's not too good. Definitely need to clean up the Java a bit here. Let's see now. Are these necessary? Oh yeah, there. Although, actually, something like that is just probably gonna be good enough. Let's see, it's 5, it's 6-sided. That should work, right? Yeah. So, yeah, gonna do that. Duplicate and separate that. So, sort of any glowy stuff that I'm gonna do in this high poly is just more like placeholder. Because yeah, what's gonna happen is like that glow, like the glowy shit, I just do as a low poly object on top once I've done all the rest of it. Chat is strangely quiet. Yeah, well, I don't really mind. Yeah. that looks sort of, that makes it look important, right? It has a mysterious glowy light on it. Looks important. It's art 101. Although really this thing shouldn't even look too important, but hey, we'll go with it. So I think my high poly is actually kind of done. What I do at this point, if I had time, actually I only have a few more minutes before I've gotta go, but we'll see what I can achieve. So I'm gonna do googly eyes, make everything better. Yes, googly eyes are great. What I'm gonna do is a thing called exploding, which is sort of separating all of the different parts that I'm gonna bake, that I know I need to separate to get a better bake, which is essentially just that. I'm grid snapping it so I know I can sort of move it back easily, right? And so low poly, I can pretty much just use this, so hold on, I'm gonna move that somewhere else because I want to have my low poly on that layer. So that's gonna be good enough for that part. So we're gonna have to duplicate all of that and unsubdivide it and do some other magic. Let's see. Can you make a sweet tracer ass? Well, I mean, you know. Progress looking spectacular, thanks for streaming, can't wait to give you my money. Yay, I like money. It's not too often you hear that sentence, to be honest. Can't wait to give you my money, but hey. Again, nice to be appreciated. In the 5 more minutes of this. If you got any sort of final questions, then shoot. I'm just gonna try to crunch as much of this out of me as I can. How has Bob Ross inspired me? Well, I would say Bob Ross has been instrumental to my growth as an artist. Yes, all about those happy little trees. Need to just make a stream where we make some foliage stuff and spend the entire time talking about happy little trees. I don't know why I deleted that edge loop there. It's really not. Yeah. Quote me on the instrumental thing. Yeah, you can go ahead and quote me on that. I don't really mind. Let's see. It's probably a bit too many edge loops. Let's see, that's not necessary. There's that. I'm gonna remove one, select all those and equal the distance. Have you had a happy little tree stream yet? Unfortunately, no. Obros inspires all of us, let's be honest here. Gonna do that here as well. Equal all those distances. That loop isn't really necessary. That's not either, but I'll leave it for now. Right. Wow, a lot of Bob Ross stuff, huh? I mean, an afro is not really. I doubt that would really get us into any legal trouble. Bob Ross doesn't own the afro, luckily, because Mabel would be in trouble, that's for sure. Anyway, I guess I'm just about done. It's a shame, pretty much, as always, never get to do as much as I'd like, but this just how the stream thing goes. Hope you all had a good time, or something. I don't know. Make sure to follow us on all the things, Facebook, Twitter, all that. It's all right under the stream, and I link my own pages as well, just to be a shameless self-promoter. Oh, not that there's really that much on my ArtStation, because I haven't updated in ages, but there's that. And yeah, time's up, so I shall see you all later.